Looking at linear equations, there are three types of lines that we may end up with when we have two equations going at the same time. We may have parallel lines, perpendicular lines, or intersecting lines. So what we're going to do, right around the outside of your foldable, you're going to cut. You can keep the dotted line if you want. And then along these three lines, you're going to cut. Then onto your notebook paper, looking at the back of your foldable, right here is where you're going to glue. So only in this box. And then go onto your page. So now we've got our three types, and we're going to start by looking at parallel lines. So if you lift up that flap, parallel lines are two lines that do not intersect, and we would denote this as little arrows on the lines. That's the notation. So these are lines that do not intersect. Which means they're rising and running at the same rate. And what that means in terms of our equations is this is the same slope. So when I'm looking at equations of lines, if my two lines have the same slope, then I know my two lines are parallel. So what this may look like is if I have y equals 1/2 x minus 5 and y equals 1/2 x plus 7. Two different lines, but because they have the same slope, they are parallel. The next type of lines I may have is perpendicular. Perpendicular lines are lines that cross at a 90-degree angle. They're lines that cross at a 90-degree or right angle. Now, in terms of slope, to get one going the full opposite of the other, we're going to use the opposite reciprocal. Reciprocal means the flipped. So this would be if my first line is A over B. So that's my first slope. My perpendicular slope would be negative B over A. In terms of lines, I may have y equals 3/4 x plus 5. My perpendicular line would be y equals negative 4/3 x minus 7. Again, I'm looking only at the slope. And then my last one, intersecting lines. These are lines that just cross. There's no general pattern. Which means that they just have different slopes. So this could be anything. Y equals 1/2 x plus 5, and y equals 3/4 x minus 7. At some point, those two lines will cross, not necessarily at a specific angle. And those are your three types of lines.